This is the chairman and the artist, where vision meets creation. Let's talk. This episode is sponsored by Stingray Tattoo Supply. Take your shop to the next level with our premium hydraulic barber chairs built for comfort, durability, and smooth performance. Perfect for barbers and tattoo artists who demand the best. Sleek, sturdy, professional. Get yours today at stingraytattoo.net. Welcome back, everybody. This is Rafael from Stingray Tattoo and
Vodka from Graffiti City Envy.
today, what's today's date? April 31st. We are happy to let you guys know that we just finally pay our first quarter in taxes. So we have no stress in our system. We're going to be able to smoke out and celebrate. We're catching up on the bills. We're catching up on stuff, homie.
On jobs.
Yeah, we're getting jobs. We're getting some graffiti jobs. We're getting some murals. If anybody's interested in a mural, hit up Graffiti City NV or graffiticityNV.com. Or if you're in need of some graffiti supplies, hit up graffiticityNV.com. They sell all your graffiti stuff. And so what's up, Mr. Vaca? What you been up to today?
Well, just excited to talk about the murals, the jobs that we've been getting on the website. Thanks to Raf.
Yeah, we actually worked for the past 3 or 4 months on getting his website going, and at the same time, I was helping him out with Shopify, how to run Shopify, how to set up Shopify.
Shout out to Shopify. Fuck.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty cool program. It is simple, but you do have to know a little bit of your computer language, and that's pretty much what we did. You know, I told them where to click, what to do, what to fill out, and all that stuff. How about you? Was it easy for you, Waka?
Yeah, well, watching you do it, it was a lot easier, but doing it myself, I would have gone lost.
You still need to do a little bit of the computer language, huh?
Yeah.
The language makes a big difference, knowing what to click, knowing where to click. And one of the hardest things about Shopify in the beginning is actually your settings. A lot of people may think that you can open up a Shopify online store without business license, which is not really. You want to get your business license first and then go for the Shopify stuff. If you're trying to open up your Shopify, there will be an area where it says we need your business license or IN number and all this stuff to make sure you're legit. Your
tax ID.
Your tax ID, which we just, he just paid his first quarterly for this year, and we got it. We got everything. Everything is digital now. It's fucking trippy. Everything you can't even if you show up at the office, they make you pay it digitally. You don't do the check no more. Hey, here's some cash. It's all done by credit card and digital.
Yeah.
The state of Nevada just redid their tax forms and all their tax stuff for sales. We're talking about the sales department, Nevada sales department, and it was a challenge going in there. I already was used to it the old way, but they changed the whole program, so then I had to learn the new program. What do you think? Was it easy for you?
Easier, way easier. It's on file. It's saved. Yeah, there's no paperwork. There's no fucking receipt you gotta save in your special suitcase or anything.
Everything is digital, and they got track of it. You got a little track of it. You can screenshot it. You can print it if you want.
You pay it right there. And that's it. Beautiful. Big shout out to Shopify.
Yeah, if anybody's out there, if you guys want to do online stores, I have done VirtualMart. I have done WordPress. I have done Squarespace. WooCommerce. And out of all of those, the one that I found easier for me to work with was Shopify. Shopify was real simple. There's a lot of help there. It used to be you could actually call a number and get somebody to help you a little more, but Shopify went also like, nah, if you don't know computers, you ain't getting MI crap or in our stuff, and you got to know computers in order to get into the Shopify and really start tearing it up. But I don't know. I think some of it you can also learn on YouTube. There's a lot. They have their own channel too, which they can actually walk you through every step. Every step on how to build a website is actually on Shopify. And then once you follow the steps, which is only about, I don't know, a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta watch all the videos that are an hour long. There's fucking 11 videos.
And hopefully you learned something or you understood something out of it.
How to watch a video like I don't understand nothing.
Yeah, it can be complex, homie. It can be, I don't know how to, dude, I mean, it took me 10 years, we can say, just to really finally understand how Google AdWords and Google Ads worked and everything, and how to run
Analytics.
Analytics, and how to run. Oh, we got to finish your analytics too, bro.
Yeah.
Unless you worked on it. Doing the analytics, doing the ads and running the campaigns. Oh fuck, that has been one hell of an adventure. But believe it or not, just the last time we talked about it, it finally made sense to me. A lot of good smoking weed, that's what really will help the brain get all that information in. Get as much as you can of weed out there and smoke the fuck out, and then get behind that computer and see if you understand 2 or 3 of the words that they said, and see if you can comprehend, and then come back next week and do the same thing.
And try to do it again. We're not promoting weed use, but it does sure.
Oh hell, I promoted weed use, man. Weed. I seen every rapper, every music guy out there, every other sports figure doing weed before they even play sports. They're all admitting to it now, and this and that. It's trippy as hell, huh? When
There's
you
a
watch
basketball player, Sean Kemp, that came out and he was like, "Oh yeah, I was high every game."
Yeah, so what happened? What happened to the drug test?
This
Apparently, once you got
high.
talent, they're not going to check for that.
There's ways to get around it. Too.
Yeah, they're just checking for the steroids and the enhancements. But weed should be allowed for every sports figure. You should be able to smoke weed and get into the gym and fucking box it out with the next guy. But for those of you that want to experiment with drugs, I would say the only one you want to experiment with is Mr. Weed. Mushrooms are awesome too. Rocka's get over there getting a lighter so we can light up our weed and start imagining, what we're going to do with our lives. My life usually consists of starting my day with a joint in the morning, and then Vaca comes over and what are we going to do today? And then we got to plan our day. Today is podcast day, and Vaca, tell them what about these t-shirts. Let them know.
Oh, fuck. We finally got our new swag, Vaca swag on Graffiti City. So if you need to order yours, order your shirt. We got them in white. It's either the Italian holiday or a Mexican holiday. It doesn't really matter, whichever one you want.
I thought it was a watermelon. I thought we were promoting, watermelon day or something like that. Or hey, it looks delicious, but I can see the Mexican thing. I see the colors.
Yeah.
Either
you're Italian or Mexican, don't matter.
We got your colors, and let us know what sizes you like, and also, can they change colors? Can you do? Well, you can do on the website, or homie can hook it up
on Shopify. Yeah. Yeah, these are done by one of my homies, Eric.
Shout out to Eric.
Yeah, he's helped me out a lot, but we could also get them done on Shopify. We could get them shipped out one by one, and you could edit them however you want, put any color you want.
Yeah, Shopify comes with all these apps, and one of the apps is called Printful and Printify. Printful's pretty cool, man. For those of us that don't want to buy a lot of T-shirts or want to test out products or test out a design, Printful is actually pretty cool.
Best fucking program, yeah.
If anybody wants to create products or learn how to put their logos on a coffee cup or something like that, go to Printful. They're pretty cool. Printify too is pretty cool. They got a lot of stuff. Printful is based out of Southern California.
Yeah. That's the fucking best invention ever. Now you don't have to make a bunch of T-shirts. You don't have to make 200 T-shirts just to fucking sell one medium or one large.
And end up with a bunch of extra large or small ones. You know?
That was a big fucking...
For anybody that wants to test out products and stuff, check out that program. It's pretty cool. I highly recommend it. Now, what else we got in online, homie? You got the list, or should I just spot it out, man?
We got paint. Whatever you need, check out the website. You got markers, you got Flame, you got Acme, you got...
What are these, homie?
Art Primos.
What's up with these guys? Tell me about those.
These are
what kind of damage can you do with
these
them?
are gold and silver. The gold and silver are a little bit more pricey because they're gold and silver.
What kind of marker is that? What
these are from the homies from Art Primo.
But what's the name? Oh, it's an Art Primo brand?
Yeah,
oh, yeah,
Art Primo got his own brand.
Oh, cool.
And they're fucking...
Those are solids? Those are streakers?
Solids like those ones?
Oh, these are...
Pop one of those
just
ones?
like these streakers right here.
Yep. These are a lot cheaper. Those...
Great for working on cars or marking your rubbers, your stuff, and they're called streakers for a reason. And a lot of the graffiti guys use them, so get your streakers.
You're gonna get ash on your...
Just add a little more flavor to it, I say.
But yeah, check out the markers. You got caps, adapters. If people need adapters, just hit me up, man. We'll either ship them to you or deliver them to you here in town, local.
What about these? What are these?
These are our Bullet brand, our weatherproof, permanent, fast drying from Art Primo also. Our Art Primo brand.
These.
And these are solid too.
Oh, those are solid markers? Oh,
yeah, but they're
different brand.
They're a little softer, they're different brand and from Art Primo.
We got crinks.
You got crings, you got some destroyer monsters.
We got crink mops. These are the mops, right?
Yeah. And these are the...
Oh, that's a big mop.
Yeah, you'll fuck some shit up with these.
That's the kind of resin you want to leave in a bathroom or...
Oh, man.
Or in a metal light box or something like that. An electrical box. I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying I seen it in places like that.
And they look cool.
Yeah, the one that we used to sell a lot was the gold one, huh?
Yeah, these
gold and silver just go out the shelves, no problems.
Yeah, these little mops. These will make a lot of beautiful scripts.
Then you got Beltons too.
Yeah, I just got these just because they're nice. They're soft. And
well, Belton is a German company.
I believe so. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know.
But yeah, they've been around for a long time. Then we also got Flame.
We got the Flame. We got the high pressure. These are for the more.
Put these back, then we can get back.
Fucking.
We're doing a little promo stuff. We want to show people all the stuff. You know what makes it really cool when we're doing these murals out there, these graffiti pieces. Mm-hmm. You hooking me up with all the right caps and hey, use this one and use that one. It makes life a lot easier and the work. Having to fill out big areas with a white one and then do some nice little clean lines with a
fan cap.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, Vaca's got all the caps, all the fat pinks, super skinny caps, you name it, he's got them. You know, for caps, check out Graffiti City NV.
Yeah, our Primo also has their mops too, just like Crink does. And check out our website. Whatever you need, just check out our website. Let me know if you need anything in particular. We could always get it from the homies from Art Primo. And we're just the only ones that carry it here in Nevada.
In Reno, Nevada.
Yeah, in Reno, and nobody.
We can't
locally.
claim Vegas. We don't. Do you think Vegas got a graffiti store?
Oh, I'm sure it does.
It's gotta have one, right?
Yeah.
Somebody's carrying something over there. I see a lot of big pieces.
Shut up over there.
Let us know if anybody lives in Vegas. Let us know what's going on in Vegas when it comes to the graffiti supplies or who's selling stuff out there. We just want to say hello and send them a shout out.
Yeah, and hit us up if you're an artist and you want to get on the podcast, or you want to know about murals. You want to know how to get murals. You want to know about contracts. I want to apologize to one of our buddies, Bryce. We actually stepped on we ran over his whole foot.
But we didn't.
Not literally, but we
didn't mean to.
On his toes, we got hired by by one of our clients, and he was gonna do it previously before us, and we ended up doing the mural, and we feel bad because it was Bryce's client, but things happen, and we just want to give a shout out to Bryce.
Hopefully no hard feelings, and if you do have hard feelings, I guess you can leave a mean comment and
we love you, Bryce. If you
if
you would like to do a podcast with us, we would really appreciate it.
Yeah, I think it's also doing the contract is important, because if you don't do a contract, or you end up giving the client your design and this and that, which this is what happened in this case. The client had the design. He showed us. We asked him, where'd you get it? You know, we don't want to be end up in a lawsuit. He said, the artist got it from Pinterest or something like that, but you know, and I'm like, well, hopefully you're right, you know. And it was done inside a bathroom, so he expected nobody to take pictures except for us. And then by the time we posted, you know, because we were wondering who was it that did the art but didn't follow through, or who was it. We've been kind of wondering the whole time we were doing this piece. And then you know, through Facebook I get to find out that I stepped over Bryce's toes, but we didn't mean that, homie. We did ask the guy, and he provided the art, which you did most of the art. I understand it. You know, I see some of the cool computer effects you can do on there, you know. But for people in the future, you know, you want to do a contract, and after we did the contract with a client, later on he wanted to add on to more work in the piece. We did agree to it, but we told him, hey, under contract, we're only doing this piece, and then we have to do more money, because that's what happens without a contract. People like to add a little more to the order.
Pass that shit.
You know, people like to add a little more to the order. You know, they want to, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? And they expect it for the same price. And this is the reason why we do the contract. And one thing that I learned about Vaca, he doesn't let the client have the artwork or anything until the contract is signed, because nowadays people just take the artwork and this and that, and they don't mean wrong, but you know, at the same time they don't understand how much work Bryce put into it. You know, Bryce put a lot of work into getting the design. One of the hardest things about doing this kind of work is coming up with the artwork. So thank you, Bryce, for the artwork, and I'm sorry that it happened this way, and we didn't mean to. But Bryce did the artwork. That's Bryce's artwork, and we did the handiwork, you know. So he gets credit for the artwork. We can't get credit for that.
Yeah, and Bryce is a local
would you
artist
agree?
here in town. Yeah, oh fuck yeah, Bryce is a badass, man. Check out Bryce. We'll probably put.
Hey, you know
his
what?
stuff
Next time I
under
post it or anything, I will, you know, artwork by Bryce or whatever, or I can see that he put it together and this and that. Because later I found the same miner on Google, so it's a lot of cut and paste now. It's a lot of clip art, this and that. But the artistic part is still in how you put it together, how you make things fit, how you make things flow. It may be digital, maybe this and that, but it does have some kind of legitimacy behind it,
Yeah.
We in the world that we live in, where there's a lot of computer work and this and that. I mean, right now every other tattoo artist, all their work is coming out of a copy and paste.
And
There's so many people that are not drawing, are not hand, and this and that. Everything is copy and paste. It's the copy and paste became more common now than any other time, and that I can't stop it. I can only go along with it or figure out. That's what I enjoy about painting and doing the graffiti pieces, because it's still a hands-on work. Just like tattoo in the end. But when it comes to the art, it's a lot of just copy and paste and iPad, and it's all about Procreate now. Not knowing that Photoshop is a much, much meaner motherfucking monster than Procreate. I hate Procreate when it comes, because I want to do shit that I can do on Photoshop. I get off that Procreate. If I put it on my Photoshop, then I can really tear up that motherfucker and this and that. Or even use Illustrator.
Mhm.
Illustrator's a mean ass motherfucker when it comes to art.
I'm not very good at Illustrator.
Well, yeah, Illustrator's a monster. I highly encourage kids. I highly encourage anybody out there that's in the tattoo industry, learn Illustrator. There's a fucking book called How to Learn Visually. You can actually learn Illustrator. It'll be really cool. You'll be able to create a lot more custom art and not rely also so much on the clip art, and in the end, oh fuck, that motherfucking Illustrator, you can do some badass t-shirts with it. You can do some badass graphic designs. Illustrator, man, you get high, you start playing with that motherfucker, 8 hours later, you're like, what the fuck did I do? It's fucking cool, homie.
I would get lost in Photoshop.
Adobe products. I've been fucking around with Adobe products since, the 90s and shit like that, I first started fucking around with Illustrator, and oh man, it was really fucking cool to learn to draw with a little mouse and knowing how you can edit all kinds of stuff, learning how to create outlines, learning how to import a picture and do all these kind of texture effects and all kinds of graphic effects and all kinds of oh man, I mean, you can create mosaics, you can create
ripples,
you can create a bubble, all kinds of stuff. And then when it comes to the brushes, not only can you use all these brushes, import brushes, you can actually create your own fucking brushes and all that shit.
Parents, I highly recommend you get your kids a computer and Photoshop and Illustrator going as soon as possible.
Well, the cool thing about Illustrator is a subscription now. So you can subscribe. Back in the day, you had to buy the program, and the program only cost $1,000, $800. And not everybody has $800 to invest in a program like that. And not when you have all this digital clip art, you have all these other online all this clip art stuff that you don't have to draw. There was all these other programs that were used for crafts and stuff like that. I remember some of them. So, and Photoshop was one of the ultimate high motherfuckers up there that it was too expensive. And I decided one time, oh, fuck it, if I'm going to spend, I just spent, I think, $3,000 and got the whole outfit. Photoshop, Illustrator, Flash, Procreate, fucking Dreamweaver. I got to play with Dreamweaver, bro. And I got to learn how to build websites on Dreamweaver. Talk about, and then I decided, well, now that I know how to build a website, I went and learned how to do HTML and CSS and edit code and shit like that. I think it's so fucking cool back in the day when people were learning to edit code through Facebook, but here comes, through MySpace.
Uh-huh.
You were
That was
actually
the
learning
shit.
something. MySpace was really cool because it was teaching you something.
Mine had music. And
Yeah. Now it's you know, now you letting AI do the work for you.
yeah.
Fucking-
Shout out to AI.
Yeah, we use AI a lot. Tell them about how you use AI, Vaca.
Well, I gotta be honest. I use it a lot. I use it for everything, man. Fuck. You get sketches, you get designs, you get ideas, you get everything you need from AI. If you need to do a contract, you set it up in AI. Don't be scared to use AI, man. That's the future, especially for artists. Put your ideas in there, what you want to do, how you want to do it, and it'll give you a blueprint.
Well, yeah, that's one of the things that when it comes to artists, we're concentrating so much on the art that some of us are not even concentrating on the business part or this or that. That's why you got the guy running the shop, and your job is just to go in there and tattoo, do the cut, but you're not out there kind of like learning the business and stuff. The guys is doing the business, and or you're not, keeping up with your learning how to write, learning how to, keeping up with your writing skills, because we're artistic. But with fucking AI, I have a big time problem writing shit. I can't write shit, and I will start writing, and now suddenly I get, I start getting all confused with the spelling because I know they're gonna make fun of me when I misspell, and my writing sucks. My writing is all over because my fucking brain goes faster than my hand. But now that we got AI, I tell AI write this, and that, and it kind of writes it the way I kind of were worded. Then I can go in there and edit it and shit like that, and I don't have to get lost or because when I ran the business and this and that, you have to write to the city, you have to write to the health department, you have to write letters and this and that, and know the difference between a business letter and a friendly letter, and Mr. Chat GPT does all that shit for you. It writes it in the right format and all that. For people that don't know, if you tell them hey, I don't know the format, but I need to write to a person and this is what it's about, Chat GPT will grab that and write it in the right format. It's fucking trippy. When it came to writing all the how to take care of your tattoo, or the contracts, or all the stuff that we had to do for the health department. I don't know if you remember when the health department. I wish I had ChatGPT back then.
Yeah, you would sound so much smarter. Like, what does this say, sir?
Oh my god! Oh, that just brought me fucking shitty ass memories. Never mind. Let's talk about something else, man.
Something happy.
But ChatGPT, get lost on that if you can. Ask it questions and start messing around with it. We have no more privacy. We're fucked. The computer knows everything about us now. We can't, Everything, ever since I was born, I've been documented. I've been documented everything. Your time that you were born, the time you will die, the time you went here, the time you went there, what kind of candy you ate. Everything is being documented. There's no more privacy. You want to be private, go live up in the mountains like a hermit and hunt and kill with a spear, and that's as private as you're going to be. But there is a satellite up there keeping an eye on you. That's fucked up. There's satellites everywhere. Oh yeah, shut up, fucker. That's crazy.
Yeah, I shouldn't say that.
No.
Iron Man is watching.
Yeah, but we have some sophisticated, crazy ass weapons and crazy ass
Stark
things
Industries.
that due to the fucking AI shit. Anyway, now that we were talking about AI, I've been watching all this shit about aliens, cabrón. And back in the day, many moons ago, I didn't know shit about how fast ships can go. I didn't know shit about gravity, or the faster you go, the more you go back, and all this pressure's on you. I was a little motherfucker. I was maybe, damn little motherfucker. I was probably in my in my 18 or 20s. But at the time, you ain't thinking about shit like that when, you're just a produce guy. But I remember driving home one day, and I was coming down to Sutro. Up from McCarran, you turn right onto Sutro, coming down the hill. And I remember seeing this. It was kind of like maybe 6 o'clock in the morning. And I remember seeing these three little like dots, like, 3 spears above the mountain. And most of the time, that's where the airplanes kind of come through to land on the airport. So I'm like, hey, check out those fucking 3 planes, And I was wondering, they're way off on the fucking on top of Mountain Rose. This 3 fucking diamond thing, but it's like 3 dots. And all suddenly, they left, and that's it. And I didn't, I'm like, all right, fuck it. Well, I don't know shit. And then, you start listening to Joe Rogan, and you start watching, now that we have all this shit. And it's like, back in the day, I didn't understand what I saw. And I never even questioned it. Like, oh, yeah, I thought it was just like, oh, maybe some reflection, like coming off the mountain and shit like that. But I think I saw Mr. UFO many, many months ago. And without knowing that I saw a UFO. And then that's pretty much the only way I do know that there's some shit out there that was already fucking like 20 years ago doing some super, And then, I start tattooing some of these guys because we have the Air Force right here in Fallon. Mm-hmm. Back in the day, we would tattoo some of the guys that came up and told us about the fighting the planes out there and doing the Top Gun shit and all that. So that's where I kind of started learning like how fast a human can go in these planes, or how fast before you're fucked. You have to have all this special equipment. The G-force is too fucking great, and then these fucking things, they go like that. It's like, if anybody's in there, that motherfucker splatter. So yeah, that really fucks me up now. It's like, damn, are you telling me many, many months ago I saw something, but I couldn't. But yeah, that's my UFO. And then when I go back to Mexico and my hometown, we have witches, and we have also the stories of the spheres. Where the spheres, people are following a sphere, and they end up 20, 50 miles away from going home, and they start following this spear that jumps from tree to tree, and they just want to catch this fucking thing. And next thing you know, where the fuck am I? It's trippy. I hear stories like that, and but that only happens back in my hometown, because I can't talk shit like that. When you talk shit like that here, people look at you like a gook. But back in my hometown, bro, we talk, dude, it's so natural to talk about witches. And they tell you stories. Everybody had an experience with a witch, or everybody had an experience with a spear, with a glowing ball in that area. And there's a lot of hunting stories in my hometown. A lot of spooky stuff in my hometown. You ever had any spooky stuff happen to you, cabron? Anyway, that was my alien story. I mean, my UFO stories, because my alien story is different. When I cross the border, I'll tell you that one later. That's a different kind of alien.
No, I never had a spooky thing happen to me or nothing that I can remember. I don't.
Like in Mexico, I got to sleep with a ghost. There's a ghost in my house, my mom's house, and I got to sleep with that bitch. Mm-hmm. It's an old lady, and she was grabbing me and touching me. And finally I woke up and I told her, shit, she's not here. But I could feel her, and I could feel a lady sleeping behind me, spooning me, we can say. And that's my ghost story. And I don't sleep in that room. Yeah. I do like sleeping where the desk was next. Like when my grandpa passed away, when I went back, I asked my grandma, like, where grandpa died? He says, on that bed. Can I go sleep on it? She goes, you serious? Yeah, I wanna dream about him. And the same thing when I go to Mexico, my dad, donde lo tendieron, I sleep right there. I want to sleep right there because I want to, that's where my dad passed away. And but I don't want to sleep up there. I want to sleep with the ghosts that I know. I want to see the ghosts that I know. But somebody that I don't know, I don't like it. It was scary. That bitch was touching me. Ay, güey, te vi culé, cabrón.
No, yeah, Raph, that's too much.
No, I had Mr. Ghost experience, so now I can say I believe in ghosts. I seen a lot of dead people, but in a museum style, so it's not really like. But at the age of 4, I got to see a murder happen right in front of me.
Damn.
I got to see a homie stab another homie with a big old dagger, and I had that ingrained in my head. And I guess we were afraid of this guy because we thought, I as a little kid and my other brothers, but I as a little kid, I thought that he was going to come and get us because we witnessed a murder. Mm-hmm. We were right there. I was holding on to my bigger sister's hand. I was, my sister told me, because I told her, hey, I have a memory, but I don't know if maybe this is just a dream or this really happened. And they said, what? I said, I remember somebody stabbed another guy. We were on our way to a festival, like, la feria, la fiesta. And we were on our way there. And one guy came out and stabbed another guy with a big old dagger. And I got to see the knife go in and out. And I got to see the blood. And then, and then we ran. My sister tells me that they grabbed me and we were like, let's get out of here. And, we witnessed a murder. And then the whole family, we were pretty scared. I remember my mom locking up the house. And they were scared because, now we had a killer in our town amongst us. And we were witnessed. Damn. And we were afraid that the homie was going to come after us. And that shit scared us till I was 10 or 11. Finally, when we moved over here, I didn't have to be scared of that guy no more. But I didn't even know what he looked like or anything. It's not like I knew what the picture or what he looked like. I don't even know. But I remember a guy killing another guy at the age of 4.
Well, moving on. This is brought to you by
Welcome to Graffiti City, your one-stop shop for graffiti supplies. From spray paint to markers, caps, and merch, we've got it all. Let's get creative. GraffitiCityNV.com.
The Chariot. Stingray tattoo.
Oh shit.
GraffitiCityNV.com.
Yeah, see, I told you it's weed will make your memory. Bring back some of the. I like talking about ghosts. I like talking about spooky stuff. In my hometown, there was through the grapevine. We didn't see this happen. But back in the days, somebody got a costume of supposedly a werewolf costume, a pretty cool werewolf costume. And these fuckers went ahead, and over there where we live, we got farming. And these guys hid in the milpas. And some guys were coming in their bikes. And you can imagine this fuckers came out with a werewolf outfit that looked pretty badass or whatever.
Fuck, man.
It scared the fuck out of these guys. Some guy. Because we heard about this motherfucker came to the store all fucking injured because the chain broke on him.
There's a wolf.
So people were playing mean fucking pranks on people over there, where I come from, and you're fucking already spooky, riding in the darkness on a bicycle, And in my hometown there was no lighting, bro. The lighting was very, very far away, Electricity was kind of new to our area. I was born in a house with no electricity, so I know how dark, it can get, and with the aparatos, we had the aparato lantern, I don't know that. And then we light it up, and then we had to kill all the scorpions before we went to sleep. Cause there was a hell of scorpions. We had scorpions all over that house and shit like that, man. I grew up with the fear of cockroaches by scorpions. You know, my mom had to kill scorpions all night long. You know, she could barely get sleep because of fucking she would put cardboard around our beds, and then the scorpions make sound, and that would wake her up, and boom, another one.
Damn.
We grew up in a dangerous neighborhood filled up with scorpions in a house infested with scorpions. And we still go back there. I can find scorpions in minutes, bro. It only takes a couple. I know exactly where they hide, how many, you know.
There's a gang of scorpions.
Now we live over here in Reno where it's just fucking cold. And if you're unfortunate to get an infection in a roach infested place, oh, it's terrible. I hate roaches, you know.
Yeah.
I hate cockroaches. I hate it when I lived in an apartments. They piss me off. Especially when they get into your cereal and you're trying to enjoy it.
You gotta eat a roach once in a while.
Yeah, fucking cockroaches.
Smoke a roach?
Fucking cockroaches suck. No, chingatelo tú, cabrón. So you never dealt with no aliens or no brujas that you know of?
Brujas? No.
What? You're looking for the lighter?
No, just your sister fucking coming out the shower with their hair all down and woo! Fucking.
They did that to you?
Bitch.
Somebody scare you?
Yeah.
No, in Mexico, fuck. I remember the time that I went to. My grandpa took us to Guanajuato, and in the state of Guanajuato, they have a museum of mummies.
The famous, huh?
Yeah,
I want to go there one day.
So, you know, we get to see all these mummies, and I realized I just witnessed like 80 dead bodies in one day.
Why would they mummify these fucking bodies?
They're mummified because in that area, Guanajuato, there was a lot of silver. So the minerals, people that got buried in the panteon, they realized that they were not decomposing.
Oh, really?
And sometimes over there, you still get evicted after you die. Apparently, if somebody doesn't pay your dues, they just dig out your body and they set it to burn, and then they put you in another little place. But they found out that these fuckers were not being decomposed.
They weren't paying.
They're like, well, we're gonna use you for display, and we're gonna make money out of you. So there's a lot of mummies in Mexico, in Guanajuato, and they're not wrapped up like Egyptian mummies. They're dead body, you know, like you can see a homie got cut in the throat. You can see a stabbing. You see they're dead and they still got their clothes on.
Damn.
And you know, for a little kid, it can be a little traumatizing. And then that day I went home, and then my grandpa says, "Hey, go over there and get me some sodas," because he was gonna drink his tequila. So I get on the bike and I'm riding on the road, and in the middle of the road it's so dark. It's a fucking night with no moon, a little bit of moon, but it was raining.
You saw the local crackhead.
No, cabrón, I ran into a cow. With my bicycle, hit it right in the stomach and flipped. And then the cow turned around, and the moon, you know, lit up the eyes. And all I can see is horns and the red eyes from the moon on the cow. Moo! I got scared as a motherfucker. So I had to get back on the bike and kept going to the store. I went and got the stuff, and on the way back, I ran into the fucking cow again.
Fuck. You were just looking for that cow now.
No, I was fucking scared of it, and I was walking really slow, and the chain came off, and I had the soda, so I didn't want to fucking fall, and I couldn't ride it. So I'm walking, and the cow comes out of a bush, just like start running again.
I've been waiting for you,
But the whole time I was walking in the dark, I was thinking of the mommies. I was thinking, like, dude, I just saw all those dead bodies. What if one of them came out right now? You see little dead kids. You see females dead, and they're dried up. It was fucking. It's pretty interesting, but it's a little.
What do you think about that? Do you think we go somewhere? Do you think it's like a sleep? Do you think somebody turns on and off your
No, we stay
power
here.
switch?
No, we're
You're
done.
just another person.
No, once you die, you just become part of the eternal life. In other words, the eternal life is actually Mr. Fungus. And Mr. Fungus is another living organism that you become part of it, and you can be here for another million years. So we all become part of the Salmonella, or whatever, what's it called? Maximilian, or whatever that fucking fungus. But once I realized, like, oh, so there is life after death. So you become part of Earth. Your spirit can be out here with us and this and that. We have spirits all around us. There may be 2 or 3 motherfuckers right here. We're just not seeing them. But there's a lot of spirits. There's a lot of the spirits don't go out to space. They stay here within the Earth. They're part of the Earth. We're part of the Earth. We just become and you're lucky to be reincarnated, this and that, but once you become part of the Earth, you're part of the Earth. And even if you do the cremation and stuff like that, your ashes will become part of the Earth. So
Deep.
Deep.
The chairman and the artist.
No, it's weird because you see I don't know, you ever been to a panteon and seen a dead body? Or the next time I saw a dead body was when my friend Jorge died, our neighbor. He passed away, and we got to see him as teenagers, and that was devastating. That was the first time I ever really dealt with seeing somebody in a casket, and somebody that we knew, and somebody that we played with, and somebody that we hung out with. It's a whole different way to look at it, and then we've been to the Panteon in Mexico, and sometimes you can see the bones and this and that, and you're seeing death, you're seeing the reality of human, and what we're all gonna die. We just hopefully it's swift and quick, and if you gotta suffer, that's just part of life too. To live long is to suffer. To get old is to suffer.
Not if you're using a chariot.
It's a chariot. Anyway, yeah, it sucks, man, but death is real. Life is not. Death is certain. Life is not. We're born to die. And hopefully we leave a mark here. Hopefully we leave an impression. Hopefully our loved ones will remember us in the future. You just don't become, like Coco. You want to make sure that everybody remembers you. And you remember your elders. You remember, like my mom is telling me about our grandparents and this and that, and our great-grandparents and stuff like that. Some of my family are working on doing the family tree because we're curious. Now we're curious, who we are and where we came from, where we immigrated, and how we, If I'm not doing it, one of my brothers is doing it. Somebody's doing the searching and stuff. We're all curious. We become more and more curious, I got some cool black and white photos of my great-grandfather, and it's pretty cool to see, what they look like, and to see our features, part of our eyes still in there, and they're like, wow, it's fucking pretty cool. Photography, especially if you have ability to see your ancestors and see them through photographs, and seeing your ancestors old, it's kind of seeing yourself old too, and you will look at, wow, damn, that's what I look like. You know, it's trippy as hell. You see your features in them.
You look a lot like your brother.
A lot of my brothers. I got 6 brothers and 2 sisters. I mean, there's 6 of us and 2 sisters. So, and me and my brother sound alike. Me and my other brother look alike. You know. And
Can you tell us a little bit about Indio, what he's doing, and
right now, I think one thing of the way I haven't been keeping up on him because I've been busy working in my remodeling in my house. But no, I think was he in Europe, cabrón?
he's somewhere. He's traveling. Yeah.
Yeah. My brother's probably in Europe doing the Frankfurt show or whatever. Yeah, I've been watching his art here and there. He doesn't post too much, you know. He doesn't like. I don't think he likes posting too much, you know. He's more like, leave me alone. I'm working, you know. He's got a lot of work, and I don't think he's doing as much TikTok as. It's not something that, you know. We didn't sign up for this to do TikTok.
Does he use your chair down there?
Yeah. Well, dude, you go out,
Table.
and actually, all of my experiments are down there too, bro.
Yeah.
He's got like 3 or 4 chariots tops, and then he's got a chariot. You know, I took him, and then I'm gonna go back there and now give him some new frames and some new stuff. But you know, I haven't been able to go down there. Every time I go down there, we just go fishing. Fuck it, you know. He leaves work, I leave work, and
Because he needs an armrest too, I'm sure, huh?
yeah, but he's got his own thing and this and that. But yeah, I can't wait to go back and hang out. But lately life has been tough since my Instagram got stolen, and so my orders went down, and then now you got tariffs and all kinds of stuff. So I shouldn't be able to raise my prices. I should be able to. I know I can eat the thing, so I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna be able to raise my prices. I should be able to stay within that price limit, you know, and still, because it's all me, you know. It's all about how greedy I want to be or this or that. If I lose 25%, I guess I lose 25%. You know, we'll see.
Yeah, check out the chairs, man. They're a lifesaver. Best chair.
Maybe I should. This is a good time to plug in. Check out Stingray Tattoo on Instagram and on TikTok. Check out the tattoo chair supplier. I'm gonna post that down here so we can. Hopefully, I can get more followers. Hopefully, I can start getting more orders. Life has been a little on the sad side, but I did. I sold the chair in Tucson, and I'm happy to get back and
Sold
start
a
doing
table?
more stuff. Yeah, I got a pink one,
Yeah.
a pink table, and yeah. Other than that, life has been a little rough, homie. And then right now, everybody in the tattoo industry, we all know how it's flooded. There's more TikTokers, and there are actually fucking tattoo artists now. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but welcome to the Wild Wild West, motherfuckers. That's how the tattoo world is. It's, you know, we're in fucking craziness, limbo. You know, I don't know what's getting more attention, the tattoos, or the
The
TikToking.
barbers.
You know, everybody, man, everybody's showing their talent. Yeah.
Man, barbers are the rock stars, man. If you're cutting hair, shout out to you guys.
Yeah, a lot of the
Famous Flacco.
No, but it's really cool when you go to some of these barber shops and the luxury, their setups and everything. It's very nice, man. It's like, fuck, it's luxury supreme, you know. But you know,
Shops are sick.
the tattoo industry right now, we just fuck, man. Everybody's flooded. You know, there's not enough work to keep everybody. Well, there is, but I mean, you got to be a good promoter. You got to be good at advertising, and you got to do a lot of fucking TikToking or have one of your guys do a lot of social media, because I guess that's what sells now. You know, it's not about the money; it's about the likes. It's trippy,
Yeah.
you know.
That's what we're doing it. We gotta do this.
Oh shit!
Shout out to everybody.
Let me get rid of this and get this other juice.
Yeah, Raph. Hell yeah. We gotta do podcasting. We gotta do advertising. We gotta do the websites.
Yeah, right now, if you're not computer savvy, that you have to use all this computer savviness on your marketing. And there's all kinds of little marketing stuff that you can do. You can do Instagram, you can do Facebook ads, you got Google ads, and you're marketing to the whole United States. Back in the day, in the radio, you're only marketing in your local area. Now you got the ability through the internet to market all over the United States. You can pick what states you can target your marketing and all that. It's different because I remember the Yellow Pages. I remember marketing on what do you call it, news and reviews, Yellow Pages, and but now with social media and all that, your marketing can be also worldwide if you're selling worldwide. I wonder how much these tariffs are going to affect the Shopify people that are using a lot of AliExpress and China stuff to sell a lot of the drop shipping stuff that is being imported. I wonder how they're going to be affected. I got to check out my prices on all that stuff that I have that I was wholesaling from China, or all the stuff that's being imported. That's going to be interesting. I got to check my I got also drop shipping on my website. So I build my chairs and my tables, but there's people that want other stuff, so I got drop shipping.
We got that new barber chair, that barber base or hair salon.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah, I got that one on there too. Hopefully, once we
For
get
all the barbers, all the
hopefully once I get some some more input, and we're doing research and development right now. If you think about it, we're doing research and development on the tattoo chair base with a tassel or one of those other chairs on top of it, and then also doing the research with the barber chairs. But the barber chairs, I already have 2 products on there. So if anybody wants to purchase or check out the barber chair, you go to stingraytattoo.net and you'll see I think I made a category for it too. I think I created its own category, and I can put your chair top on top of one of my bases, and you can have hydraulic system and stuff like that, or you can purchase a whole chair as it is, or send me a message or call me. Better if you send me a message. Mr. Phone right now is dead. If anybody's been trying to call me, I'm sorry. My phone is dead. It's been killed for like a week or 2 weeks now, and Mr. Battery doesn't charge no more. So, and I'm waiting on the contract to end to get a new one. So that's what's going on with the cell phone. Anyway,
what else, Raph? What else were we supposed to talk about?
Well, I told my scary stories, cabron. I told you I might as well get those out of my system. I don't give a fuck if people believe it or not. I know what I seen. I know what I believe. And when anybody that is from San Pancho, they know what I'm talking about. Shout out to San Francisco de Rincon, Guanajuato. That's where we live. That's where we have a house.
Is there any artists that came out of there? Which artist came out of there?
Well, San Francisco Rincon.
Like painter. I know they have the musical guys. But
damn, I don't know. Maybe I should look that up.
See, famous painters.
I know Guanajuato. Guanajuato has a college. and that's where a lot of them claim from Guanajuato. You know, you got Diego Rivera. Yeah, isn't Diego Rivera? Yeah, he's from Guanajuato.
Damn.
You know, you got actually in Castillo de Granaditas. That's where I saw his paintings. That's where I saw his murals. When we went to see Las Momias, we also went to Castillo de Granaditas, and that's where I got to see Hidalgo by Diego Rivera, the painting right there. You know, and then you know you got Don Quixote. You got Guanajuato, bro. I don't know. You need to go to Guanajuato as an artist. Guanajuato is an art festival. It's a big old art festival. It's a city of arts. The whole fucking city is a fucking museum, you know. And then you got mining. You got the Camino Real going through there. Guanajuato was also one of the strongholds of the Spanish conquest, where they were enslaving the local Indians and this and that. The revolution, the cradle of independence, is Guanajuato. You know, that's where the first motherfuckers say, I ain't taking this shit no more. Like, you know, I quit. Like, puta madre. And se agarraron a putazos. You know? Guanajuato's a trippy ass fucking city, because you got Morelos. It was Hidalgo, Morelos, Adame or something like that, and another guy. But these fucking guys, 4 guys, were the ones that revolted. They got their heads cut off, and they got their heads were hanging on the corner of the Castillo. I think they let them up there for 10 years. So you know, that was a lesson. Like, don't fuck with us. You know, this is what we do to your leaders. And you can still see the hooks on the Castillo Granaditas. You know, and that's another scary story that I had at that fucking place. Talk about haunted. I had a fucking crazy experience in Castillo Granaditas. And you know, Guanajuato is a fucking trippy ass city. You know, you go in there as a skeptic, you come out a believer. You know, you get to see the silhouette of Jesus' face on a mountain. From a certain point of the city, you look up over there and you're like, oh shit, there's an outline of Jesus on a mountain. And you're like, what in the fuck is going on here? Here, give me some of that weed. I said, am I seeing what I'm seeing? Oh shit, this is for real. I mean, you got el Callejón del Beso. That's another story. It's full of stories. The whole fucking city, bro. If you do 1 week, you might get to see about 50% of it. If you want to get deep, it's got castles, it's got gardens, it's got fucking dungeons, it's got a lot of torturing happening there.
Damn.
You know, they show you how to kill witches. They show you how to get rid of vampires. We walk through the dungeon of, you know, what they do to the dead after they're dead. Then you also got, like, we don't want to be buried next to those Indians. We're different. We're white and we're different, so we want to be buried over here. So the Spanish, they not want to be buried next to the Indians. You know, they want to make sure they stay away even after death from us. You know, it was trippy. And like, I myself, I'm most likely more like a mestizo, where we're half Spanish and half indigenous, you know, in that area. And in that area, they call the Indians of their area, they have names. They have tribal names and this and that. But the most derogatory name to say you weren't part of a kingdom was the word Chichimeca, which meant barbarian. You know, others say that Chichimeca means dog eater, which is like, yeah, apparently when hunger times, poor perrito there, it becomes lunch, you know. But it was also, you know, you go down in the mines and they show you how they were, you know, exploiting the workers and everything. Even to this day, they're still exploiting the workers there, working in the mines. It's fucking trippy as hell.
They still work the mines?
Oh yeah. There's, I think, two or three mines active. You know, it was that fucking city was produced at one time 70% of the world's silver. It was a silver city. You know, it has a palace. It was rich. It was a little fucking rich ass fucking city, and it's still like rich in culture, rich in art, and it's you walk through it, bro. Oh my god! Make sure you take. Oh, I had some good high times in Guanajuato. Nos pusimos bien moto y toda la chingadera. Dude, when they have the festival with the Cervantino, man, there was weed everywhere, especially now. Hopefully it's legal. But man, it was kind of like a hippie slash carnival festival for 1 month. You know, and everybody's renting their places and shit. You got music playing all over the streets. Inside every other fucking house is a fucking band playing. It's big in art. It's Cervantino. Look it up. Está bien chingón. I mean, this is where I'm from. I'm from a cool ass state in Mexico. A crazy state. It's also one of the highest murder rate states in Mexico. Yeah. You got León, Guanajuato, donde la vida no vale nada.
Damn.
You know?
Yeah.
And then it's also the crossroads between all the craziness that's happening down there. That's the crossroads, Guanajuato. We're right in the middle of the triangle, you know? So it's like, holy shit. But it's hella fun when I go back because it's beautiful. I love the roads. Ya cuando te bajas de la 45, I think it's the 45, te bajas and you know, like, all right, it's so cool getting off that road because I like driving better than flying. And you know you're in the gates of San Pancho, and then you know, then we have to go all the way down to San Bernardo. That's where I'm really from, or that's where I like to hang out and be at. San Pancho is it's like my second home. In other words, I like El Rancho más chingón because that's where I was born, and I was raised there till I was pinche was 6 or 7, and then we moved to the city, and we hated in San Pancho, you know, because they would make fun of us and didn't like us because it was at the school, so we got into a bunch of fights. And we didn't like it. We wanted to go back to El Rancho. And when I go back there, that's where I feel comfortable, you know. Even though last time I went, oh my God, a fucking little rancho has changed like a motherfucker, you know. Oh, a lot of people moved in. You know who the locals were back then, and then you have a whole bunch of new people that is trippy. It's not the same no more. You know, it's becoming part of San Pancho now. It's like another colonia. As San Pancho grows, you know, these other ranchos next to it, you got San Roque, you got Maguey, you got San Jeronimo. All these ranchos are around, you know, but the city is growing. I wonder if later they're just going to connect. You know, it used to be like, oh, that's far. Now it's like, what the fuck? You know, and there's paved road and everything. Wi-Fi like a motherfucker over there. You got all the connections. The kids are trippy, man. They're not. You would think, you know, Mexico is very. When it comes to the technology, they got the same thing that we have here. You know, they have the same. Everybody's got their cell phone. Everybody got the technology. I think Mexico even skipped a point, you know, where not everybody got a home phone. They went straight to cell phone.
Yeah.
It was trippy.
Yeah, nobody has a home phone anymore.
No, it's fucking. I remember when I needed to make a call from. When I would go down there, if I wanted to make a call, I had to go down to. There was one telephone for the town, and you make a call from there.
God damn, that was a long ass line. Huh? Better get there early.
And I remember when we had to go to San Pancho to call over here because there was no phones in El Rancho, you know. I remember the first time I called my dad from over there, you know. We would listen to our dad and talk to our dad by phone, you know. When you gonna come home? Decía en español, like, en español. ¿Cuándo vas a venir a la casa? I would cry for my dad. I didn't get to see my dad till I was almost 10.
Damn, you didn't know your dad until you were 10, basically?
Yeah. I knew I had a dad, but I knew that he came when I was 4 because he came and created Indio, you know, and then he went back. But, you know, I was 4, so I could, you know, I don't remember much. So I didn't get to see my dad till 10. You know, and it's kind of cool and weird, but yeah, that's immigration life. That's, you know, you have to make the sacrifices.
God. I fucking just seen Born in East LA.
Was it funny?
What the fuck was that, man? That's my favorite movie in the whole world.
You never seen it before?
I never watched it before. It's like, what the fuck? I watched all Cheech movies, but that one, I guess.
And we love that one.
It just stumbled at the house.
You ever seen another movie called El Norte?
Uh-uh.
El Norte was more real reality of what immigration's like. Cheech and Chong is kind of like what Chicanos go through when people want to be rude and mean and not really check up on them or say, hey, we have fingerprints. This is when, you know, they didn't have there's a lot of motherfuckers that end up over there because negligence or assholes that want to be just assholes, you know, and then you end up down there. You know, there's people that it's pretty common. Somebody from Tijuana, from San Diego, will go down there with forgetting their IDs or license, and they'll go down there and they will get stuck until, you know, luckily you can use fingerprints and this and that. But prior to that, you could get stuck down there. And it's something that really does happen, but it's funny as hell, huh?
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah. That's the best movie in the world. Yeah.
We should show those guys how to be a cholos. A los chinitos.
Oh my God, I fucking cried, I laughed, I fucking cheered, everything. I had all the emotions.
But they got the idea from that movie where they would do those rush things, like everybody rushed the border. They got the idea from that movie, and they did that at one point.
Cheech in fucking court.
They could only catch some of them. We're protected in numbers. May the lucky ones make it. It's crazy as hell when you would see shit like that. A movie because of reality, you know, or reality because of movie, but it's funny as hell. Oh man, I remember when we watched that movie. We were laughing our asses off, man. Especially Cheech and Chong. They were the first time I saw Cheech and Chong was Up in Smoke, you know. And oh fuck, we loved that movie because it was about weed and shit like that, and all that. And we get to see a Mexican guy acting funny and goofy. Then I got the Corsican Brothers. That one is more crazy than Up in Smoke 2. And then shit. But we also, back in the day, we had the wrecker. My brother brought the wrecker.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they had a record that you could listen to.
They would record tapes, no?
Well, I think the movie, one of them was recorded. So my brother would play that when we would go on road trips and shit like that. He took us, I think, to Disneyland, and we got to listen to Cheech and Chong the whole time. Dang. And shit like that, you know? So it was hella cool. He had I think they also made a cassette thing with that you could put in the car, big old fucking cassette. And my brother had one of those, and we would listen to Cheech and Chong and shit like that. But Cheech and Chong was a shit back in the day. Still is.
Fuck, still.
You know, it's fucking badass. Those fuckers are still kicking ass and doing. And almost all other movies I watched, you know, I can't remember a lot of them, but they broke up. But watching them was fucking hella funny, You know, it was hella cool. And then, you know, we thought that they were just playing around, and it comes down true that yeah, they are users. They were really smoking. It's like, oh shit, you know, it becomes like, what the fuck? These guys were just, you know, living their lives, like, you know, explaining their lives through bits and stuff like that. But you know, when you see homie really smoking, you're like, oh shit, he wasn't acting and shit like that. It was fucking cool. You know, man, it's so cool to see those motherfuckers still out there kicking ass. What other movie you watch?
Oh, what was it? Spider-Man. I get whatever is given to me, you know.
I watch Interstellar, man. I need to watch that motherfucker again, cause that fucker is trippy. I gotta watch it. That, you know, the space scenes of that movie, and
yeah, I haven't watched that one.
And you know, kind of imagining what the future is gonna be like. It's like, oh shit, you know, it's you should That's one that it tripped me out. I want to watch that motherfucker again. But there's a lot of science, and then you get this fucker, the Star Talk, when he's over there talking about this shit. But you know, they talk about this and that. It's kind of like, oh shit. So this could happen, or this is something in reality, you know. And then figuring out that I guess time travel is real. Like, what the fuck? So yeah, either that or I've been listening to a lot of that shit and I'm just repeating what he says. But yeah, watching that shit is pretty cool. Watching listening to his podcast, you know, and then I watched some of. I think it was on one of the shows that he does a whole series where he shows you all these fucking crazy inventors and stuff like that, like the guys that invented that radiation shit and all that. And how, you know, and like, holy shit. And the show, you know, it's a pretty cool show. I can't remember the fucking show, but yeah, I enjoyed listening to his fucking podcast. That's fucking pretty cool. You know, sometimes listening to Joe Rogan is cool, but it's like, another MMA guy. I really don't want to listen to another MMA guy. I'm gonna let's listen to this guy and see what he's got about space, or let's see how small I am in the world. When you listen to that shit, you realize you ain't shit in this world. You're just another parasite. You're just another part of the ant world.
A little ant,
you know?
huh?
Yeah. We're just big ants. I think the ants and us have a lot in common. We have a rose and we play it. You know? If you put a certain outfit and this and that, you play that role, and the ants do that, you know. And they're the only ones that attack others for territory, the same way we do. You know, we attack others for territory and this and that. We always want to expand our territory, you know. Humans and ants are, I think, we're brothers and sisters when it comes to the wild kingdom, you know. When it comes to defending and this and that, we attack with no mercy. You know, watching the fortune and fire and watching all those weapons that humans develop to destroy each other and hack each other and pull each other. Like, damn, we're just barbaric. You know, we're no different than those fucking ants. You know.
Yeah.
I think ants and humans are probably the only two species that, you know, have that whole city life mentality, you know, where other animals they live by tribal, you know, their numbers is not as big.
So you're telling me the movie Ants is real?
Yeah,
they got bars and shit.
No, they got different ranks. They got different.
Oh yeah.
You got the soldiers. You got the workers. You know, you got the scouts. You know. And you got your royalty. You know, there's always a queen and this and that. Without royalty, without monarchy, you can't run a city. You know, you have to have a monarchy. You know, even though the country is democratic, doesn't mean we're really democratic. We still have a leader. You know, before the leader was elected, it was a monarchy. Only so and so's name is can have that thing. You know, dynasties is another way of monarchy, but dynasties and all those guys are the same. You have a leader. You have somebody who's a king, an emperor, a god, whatever the fuck it is. You have a leader. You know, you can't function without. You know, humans. You know, we're not smart enough to make our own decisions. We have to make the decisions as a tribe. We have to make decisions. You know, when I go to work, I have to comply with others. I have to stop my car when it's red. I can't just go on my way. So I have to know how to communicate with others, this and that. Every trip to the store, just crossing the street. I can't just cross the street. I have to push that button. So I have to, you know, you're part of the system. You know, for food or whatever, you have to pay money, right? To be rationed. You check out an ant colony, it's very much the similar same fucking thing. You know? Yeah. It's fucking trippy, but yeah, we can't, you know, ants and humans, we're very much alike. You know? You know? The other one that is actually also really close to us and is, you know, evolved, but it manages to, it's dogs. Canines, dogs. Dogs have been able to, you know, evolve to any temperature of the world, this or that, or for anything, and then this and that, the same way humans have. You know? And we have very much in common. You know, we're all humans, and we can mate with other color humans and this and that. The same dogs can try and mate with another dog and this and that. They're different shape and this and that, but so you know, and I think that's why the dog is very, you know, without dogs, the human and dog is very connected. You know,
Yeah.
And both of them have they have. If a human goes to the cold, there's a dog out there that can survive the cold and figure out how to evolve himself, or the human evolve. I don't even know what the word is, but you know, will fucking figure out how to make a dog for the cold weather and all that.
Terrain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't use a word right now. I'm too fucking high. But anyway.
Damn that weed.
Yeah. I think we covered today. I think we got all our spooky shit out of the system. You know? And
Brought to you by Graffiti City Envy.
And Stingray Tattoo. Yeah, we're supposed to, you know, we're supposed to close it with, you guys have a nice day. We'll let you guys know what happens next time or what kind of jobs we got on graffiti. Hopefully we'll get some murals soon. Hopefully we'll do some other podcasts when we get the murals. So you guys can see us in action and how we behave while we're out there, you know, putting some work on the walls.
Yep.
Cool. All right. You guys have a nice day.